Well, greetings, New Beginning Church of the Nazarene. I am excited to be able to share with you during this video um, an update as to the exciting news of what's been going on with our renovation and building expansion project. As you've known, it's been 3 years in the making, and on June 6, 2021, we were finally able to give the announcement that we have signed a contract, the permits have been given, and that we are all green lights to move forward with the renovation and the expansion project for the church that we have been thinking about and dreaming about and praying about for the past few years. During that announcement, I told you there were a lot of details that needed to be ironed out, and so I am coming to you today in this video, as well as in a series of other communications that will be coming out in the coming days and weeks, to make sure that we try to communicate as best we possibly can all of the information for all of the things that will be necessary as we move into this next chapter of our congregational life together. The first thing I wanted to share with you is that while we did not on June 6th have a date for the start of the project, we do now have that date tentatively set with our general contractor. And we have had a lot of meetings over the last 2 weeks or so, 10 days, and we have decided that a start date somewhere around between July 12th and July 15th. That's a week that's coming up in just a few weeks, about a month away. And the project will start by working the ground and doing site prep work that will take place at that point in time. This is a timeline that's exciting because it is moving quickly, and we're excited about being able to move as quickly as possible, but it's also one that is going to require for all of us at the church to be able to offer our help to be able to get and to move into this next. Because of the start date of this project coming up in just about 4 weeks' time, I wanted to give a little bit of an update on what things will look like over the coming weeks, where we're going to be going, what all the details, as many details as possible in all of that, and then kind of open the door for continued communication as we move forward. So the first thing I want to share with you is that as we are looking as both the renovation and the expansion project, but also where do we go and what will congregational life look like for us as we move forward during this in-between time. The project is expected to take somewhere around 6 months. That could be a little bit longer, could be a little bit less, depending upon largely the ability to be able to get materials in time so that all the sequencing works out the way it is supposed to. We have been talking to our church neighbors just about a mile down 144 closer to Mount Airy of Marvin Chapel United Methodist Church. Their address is 5101 Woodville Road, Mount Airy, Maryland. This is a congregation that has a building that the sanctuary is just about the same size as ours, maybe a touch smaller, and is a congregation that we originally had talked about doing this type of thing almost a year and a half ago. And thankfully, when we went back and talked to them and shared with them what was going on, they were willing to roll out the red carpet yet again and have been a huge blessing to our congregation as far as their willingness to be able to work with us and to help us and to be about seeing the kingdom grow through both of the ministries of these two churches. And so what this is going to look like is that over the next 4 or 5 weeks, we have a series of different things that are going to take place each Sunday. We'll make sure that this is in writing and communicated through emails, but I wanted to make sure to say it during this video for those of you who would just want to know what kind of is the plan moving forward. This Sunday coming up is June 20th, 2021. This Sunday, Pastor Alexa will be preaching the last Sunday sermon in our One Another sermon series, and our worship will look very similar to what it's looked like over the past couple of weeks. We'll be in the sanctuary for our worship service. Our children will go downstairs for children's church during the sermon time frame, and it'll be very, very similar to the way things are going. We will make sure that there's an announcement in there about our renovation and our relocation project with any updates that may come between now and then. On July 27th, 2021, So next Sunday, we will continue to do the same thing, and again, it will look very similarly. Doug Bryce is going to be preaching for us that Sunday morning, and our service will be in the sanctuary. Our children will be in the basement for our children's church time during the sermon again. Things start to change a little bit as we move to July 4th and beyond. On July 4th, we will be having a worship service that will be our last worship service in our sanctuary before the renovation. Retired Pastor Dick Wilson on our district is going to be coming and being able to share the word. I'm really excited about him coming and preaching for us on that Sunday. In addition, our children will not have a children's church time period because of our need to start to move some items down, and some of the classrooms that they normally use are going to be used for storage during the renovation project. Following July 4th, from that point to the beginning of the project, we're going to be setting up a few work days, 1 or 2 work days, that we are going to ask that you might be willing to give a couple hours of time on each of those days to be able to help us to prepare the building for the renovation. We are in charge of making sure that all the chairs from the sanctuary get put down into a storage room in the basement. We are in charge of making sure that pieces of the audio-visual equipment that we have upstairs find their way to be boxed up nicely and neatly and find their way into storage. We need to take the kitchen items that we have in our kitchen and be able to box those up and to put those away for a time period, and a bunch of other things and areas that need to be cleaned out so that work can be done. If each of us helps out a little bit, the lifting won't be that hard for any one person. And so my ask is that as those dates come out, that you might be willing to work as hard as you possibly can to come and to be able to give a few hours of time to be able to help out with those work projects and to make this project and renovation happen a lot easier. On July 11th, 2021, our plan as of right now is going to be that July 11th will be, weather permitting, an outdoor worship service just outside the building that is about to be renovated and to be worked on. We think that it's very important for us to not only just leave the facility and leave it into hands of capable people to be able to do the work that needs to be there, but to also do the work of dedicating that work to the Lord, and to be praying for those who are going to be doing the swinging of hammers and doing the nailing of things and are going to be doing the work of putting this building back together. And we want to pray for their safety. We want to pray for their discernment and their wisdom during this project. And we want to pray for God to move in ways that would just amaze us as we move into this next season of our church's life together. We're going to do that on July 11th. If it is raining or stormy, we will plan to be at Marvin Chapel United Methodist Church on that morning. But the hope and the prayer is that weather will cooperate and we'll be able to have a great outdoor worship service on July 11th in our parking lot. For sure, we will be at Marvin Chapel United Methodist Church for worship starting on no later than July 18th, 2021. At that time, we'll be worshiping over there, and the only caveat that will be different than our worship services that we have at our normal sanctuary is that we do need to change the time and move it back by just a half hour. Marvin Chapel United Methodist Church has been so helpful in rolling out the red carpet, and in doing so, they even are moving their worship service time willingly, without any ask, to a half hour earlier. And so they'll be worshiping at 9 a.m. in the sanctuary during that time period, and you're always welcome to join them and to worship with them if you would like to during that time period. And then we are going to move our worship service to 11 o'clock a.m. starting on our time whenever we go to Marvin Chapel. So no later than July 18th, 2021. We will be worshiping at 11 a.m., which will give time for our sound people to get a quick sound check and to be able to prepare and to have a great worship service together in that space. Two final things that I just would like to ask as we move into this next chapter. The first thing is that I noted that the finances for this particular project have increased as would be expected during this. And thankfully, according with your faithful giving over the last year and a half, our undesignated funds have been able to grow to a point that we can cover the costs of the basic construction of the building. However, we are sitting a little bit short of when we add in the audio-visual updates and we add in some of the other pieces of landscaping and things like that we would like to have as a part of this project. And so the ask really is that we ask that you might consider and be willing to give yet again just a little bit more toward this project. If we each give a little bit more towards this project, we will get to where we want to go and be able to get there likely without having to take out as much of a mortgage as we had originally anticipated, which would be an act of God in a powerful way in the difficulty of this past year to 2 year time frame. So the ask is that you would consider doing that. And the second ask is that as a part of your daily prayer times, that you would uphold this project and our church as we make these transitions in your prayers. We want this to be a project and maybe a season and a chapter of our church's life that is undergirded by the prayers of God's people. And so we ask that you would commit yourself to being a praying people during this time and ask for God to show himself to us in powerful ways. Thank you for your time. Please do not hesitate to reach out if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Thanks. Blessings on you.